Over the last few weeks, new revelations have come out that are real eye-openers concerning the pandemic, and articles have appeared everywhere concerning these new statistics. Everywhere, that is, except the mass media. At the end of August, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention updated its COVID-19 numbers. From this report, you find that 6% of all COVID-19 deaths were only from COVID-19. The other 94% listed as deaths due to COVID-19 had other underlying health problems, anywhere from diabetes to heart problems. This further demonstrates that the wrong people were isolated during the pandemic. If only those with bad health conditions had been protected, then the American economy could have gone forward and the many businesses and lives disrupted would not have occurred. But that was not the plan. We know that for several years, people like Bill Gates, the World Health Organization, and the Rockefeller Foundation have been planning on using a pandemic to control the people and the economy. We have documented this before, and we have several videos online which tell the story. We still have enough of a free media for the real story to get out, even though there's been widespread censorship by the mass media and social media of any scientist, doctor, or expert who has told the truth about the medical effects of the Chinese virus and how to deal with it, other than following orders from the government. This censorship has been so effective that usually within hours, the postings have been eliminated. We have also seen where doctors have lost their jobs due to them telling the truth about the pandemic and the limited effects of the virus on healthy people, or remedies that have not been approved by the authorities, the same authorities who have lied to us about the seriousness of the problem. Now, we do not want to ignore the tragedy of the deaths that have occurred, but at the same time, the incredible cost to our country's economy, the lives of individuals disrupted, the schools shut down, etc., has been way out of whack, considering the real statistics that are now coming out. Had we protected those with pre-existing conditions and the elderly, the rest of the population could have gone along with their business. Instead, the governor of New York and others created the condition for many thousands of elderly to die when placed into nursing homes. Now they're trying to cover up their incredible lack of judgment and blame everybody else for their stupidity. The clue that so many missed over the real figures of just how serious this pandemic was is to look at the hospitals and their capacity and if they were really overwhelmed to the extent implied. We know that several of the emergency hospitals erected to take on victims were never used and were taken down very shortly after being set up. The hospital ships in New York and Los Angeles never were used the way they were supposed to be and left the scene quietly after much fanfare for having been located in those two cities to begin with. We believe that Trump was fooled by the government's experts, such as Dr. Fauci, who was a holdover and has been comfortably involved in government under a number of leftist presidents. His track record for changing his mind about everything is astonishing. Fauci is one of those who has been involved with the globalists such as Bill Gates and the World Health Organization in the preceding years, planning on how to shut the country down during a pandemic. Such people have no problem telling others what to do in violation of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Even liberals are beginning to take notice. 2020 has been an eye-opening year for forced ideas that enables government's overreach. For instance, Robert Kennedy Jr. is speaking out, even giving a speech in Berlin, Germany, to a rally there about how the pandemic is being used to control people's lives, well beyond reason. He states,
"They love pandemics for the same reason they love war.
Und die lieben sie aus den gleichen Gründen, wie sie den Krieg lieben.
Because it gives them the ability to impose controls on the population that the population would otherwise never accept."
We must be careful, however, that we think that such people will be allies in other areas of draconian government. The message I'm giving is that more people are beginning to realize the terrible fraud the pandemic shutdown has been. We must do all that we can to bring facts to the surface and get the people understanding that what has been done to us is unconstitutional. No matter the emergency, short of invasion, there is no excuse for violating the Bill of Rights. We must instill in more and more people the basic knowledge of the Constitution and Bill of Rights, or we will be lost as a free people. Please procure copies of the Constitution is the solution, and use them to inform your family, friends, and neighbors. The more people who understand our rights, the less chance those who mean to rule us will succeed. It takes work to do this. Without this effort, we are doomed. If you do not do it, who will?